Hi, Cassie.
Hiya.
Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you doing this interview with us.
No worries.
So I'm just going to get straight into it and start off with the first question. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am, I was going to say 36 then, but I'm not. I'm 35. I've got 4 children and a husband and a dog. And I have had mobility problems for about 2 years now. I've suffered a lot in my life, but this has been probably the most challenging. I've swapped jobs because of it. I used to be a travel agent. I am now an accessibility travel consultant because the amount of hurdles that you come across when you have any kind of extra needs is tricky. So that took me on a different path, which I'm loving. I am a very proud member of show choir, which is sort of like my second life. I absolutely love it. And a proud supporter of the Hidden Disability Sunflower for obvious reasons, because they are amazing. And that's about it. I've been in the theatre most of my life, and after I had my children, I danced, but had to stop because of my condition. And so therefore I found show choir to sort of bridge the gap, shall we say. So yeah.
Well, it's really nice that you're taking these challenges on. You mentioned these challenges. What sort of challenges have you faced that have kind of changed since your condition?
Do you know, I think mostly actually it's been anxiety of judgment, because I don't know, for some reason I kind of feel as though it's difficult to do the normal things that you would just do because you think that everybody's judging you for how you're doing it. So like the school run, it took me a long time to get my head around using a walking stick on the school run, and it's taking me just as long to get my head around using my chair on the school run, just because you kind of feel like people are, you don't see many mums with young kids in a primary school in wheelchairs or power chairs or with walking sticks, and it's makes you feel odd. And there's certain places and certain friends and certain family members that it's still difficult to accept that I need to use it around, purely because I feel like I'm being judged a lot. Accessibility, the things that I would never have noticed before, people parking over a dropped curb, would never have really, I mean, yeah, I had a pushchair, but you just sort of push it round, you don't really think much of it. But being in a situation where you have to get up and down curbs, something that you wouldn't think about in a normal situation. So the challenges sometimes are tiny, but they're big enough for you to go, for goodness sake, how am I going to, do this now? How am I going to get around this? I'm getting on the bus sometimes, if there's a lot of the time, if there's another pushchair or another wheelchair user or something like that, you have to wait for the next bus because there's not room. There's been quite a few times in and around the area where bus drivers have refused, not personally to me, but I know people who the bus drivers don't want to get down and put the ramp down to get on the bus. Ridiculous, right? But there you are. High street shopping, forget it. Most of them you've got to step up into the shop. They don't have ramps off the high street into the shops. So yeah, the challenges are endless. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. I'm sure we all could in this situation, but it does make it easier with a good chair. So that's something.
Yeah, well, speaking of the chair, of course you've got the Y20 Luxe from Etech Mobility.
Yeah.
What made you go with this wheelchair?
Just how many features there are. I travel a lot. I love travel. Travel is one of my biggest passions, and I needed something that could come along with me. But I also needed something that could handle multiple terrains for days out with the kids and walking the dog, and something that would be able to fold up, that I would be able to lift to myself. And with the motors and the batteries out of this, I can lift this. This is lovely. And and the luxury of it. I suppose it's clues in the title, isn't it? It's the luxe, but it does feel very luxurious. Like even when I was using it at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I used the recliner a lot. I was sat sort of watching shows, like quite happily, quite comfortable. So yeah, and even the small things like the pouch under the seat is so useful, so helpful. But yeah, I love the fact that it can do hills. No worries, like, you know, quite steep ones as well. So very impressed. I've loved it. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now, so could you share a specific moment then where you realized this chair has given you more freedom?
Yeah, well, just being able to, I would not have been able to go to Edinburgh Fringe without this. I would not have been able to have done any of the reviews or day trips that I've done, any of the days out with the kids that I've done. We did a holiday to Dawlish that I wouldn't have been able to have coped with just a walking stick. It's completely opened up my world. There isn't sort of one particular thing, because it's affected most areas of my life, from the school run to the local trip down to the shop to my rehearsals at show choir, which I'll be taking it to later this evening. So, you know, it's really made things so much. And because I can now do things locally, because I have my chair, it means that my husband can use the family car to go and do jobs or to go and whatever. I mean, he's my full-time carer, but he, you know, when he needs to go off and do different bits and bobs, he can go and do that in the car, because I can still get about locally now that I have, which makes his life easier, my life easier, and the kids' lives easier. So it's changed everything, really.
Yeah, well, you mentioned your family quite a bit. How much of an impact has it had on them overall, especially your kids? You mentioned your kids a lot.
Yeah, because we can do more together now, and just the small things like being able to pick up my little ones from school. Sometimes it was, I mean, I'd be in tears, crying on the phone for someone to come home because I couldn't do the school run, and I was just in too much pain to do the school run, and people were having to come back and, you know, or not go out or whatever to be here to just do things with and for them, after school clubs, trips to the park, whatever. You know, it's when they want to go and get something from the shop. I mean, a lot of the time our teenager is here, and he does take them around and about for us, which is really great. But to do things together so that I can do it too is the option. It gives us all an extra option. So it makes a massive difference. And my little one loves it, because she just sits, it's like a little ride. She's quite lazy anyway, so she loves the fact that she doesn't have to walk home from school when I pick her up. But yeah, it's great.
Well, you also mentioned that your partner is a full-time carer as well.
Yes.
So in terms of the actual chair,
yes,
how has it made an impact for him?
Yes, it's much easier for him, for sure. I mean, it gives us the freedom to be able to go off and do things that we couldn't previously do. And it also gives him the confidence that I can go off and do things on my own, and he doesn't have to worry quite as much, because I'm not going to fall over, I'm not going to, you know, hurt myself, bash my head or whatever. So not only does it help us when we're out and about together and out and about with the family, but it also gives him the confidence in my independence, which means the world to me, because I love to do everything and anything I can. I'm one of these people, like to grab opportunities, and I could not abide the thought of stopping living because of pain, which is what it was coming to. I was having to stop doing everything. So he was having to pick up all the pieces, whereas now I can do more. So it's less pressure.
Do you mind talking about your condition a little bit?
Well, I'm still currently undiagnosed. I have an MRI in 2 or 3 weeks, but it's a nerve problem that's developed in my hip, and it sort of first came about 2 years ago. There's been quite a few different theories, because I had one of my youngest daughter, when she was born, she had hip dysplasia or something. Anyway, there was a problem that may have caused a problem with my hip, but that would be more physical and probably less likely to be nerve damage. So My mum also has a problem with her hip, but they don't think it's anything to do with that because she was born with her condition, whereas mine, I wasn't born with it. It's just sort of come about. There are a number of theories. I had a full hysterectomy last year because they thought I had a condition called endometriosis growing around the sciatic nerve on the right side on my hip. So they did an MRI, but they couldn't find any endometriosis. Instead, what they did find was a condition that's not talked about very much, which causes chronic pain, which is adenomyosis. And the only cure for that is a full hysterectomy. So they were like, hip problems aside, to get rid of this condition that's separate, you need a full hysterectomy. So I had that and recovered from that, and then was sort of left. And I was a bit like, okay, but what about my hip? Like the original reason why I had come in was for the hip. So I had to go on a very long waiting list to see a physio, and then the physio said, no, don't think that I can help. And then they had to refer me to musculoskeletal, which was a 28-week waiting list. I finally saw someone there who did say that it was a nerve issue, and now I've got to have my MRI and wait and see what comes of it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
That's a bit more of a light-hearted question then. What's your favourite thing about the chair?
Oh, I don't know. The colour. Is that really silly? But I love the colour. Green is my favourite colour, and it felt like it was kind of meant to be because it was the only colour left in stock at the time, wasn't it? So, but I love the ease of use. I love how easy it is to control. I love how it's what's the word I'm looking for? Really responsive to like slow and speed and direction. So yeah, I love it. I learned all the cool features.
Yeah.
The recliner, the bag underneath, my drink holder. It's lovely. Yeah, it's great.
If you could sum it up in a few words then, the overall chair, what words would you use?
Powerful, reliable, and cool. Probably.
Yeah, cool.
It is cooler than a lot of the ones you see, because a lot of them are, I don't know, they just look a bit clunky and older, and I don't know. I just think this suits me. Yeah.
Okay, and just a last question, just to round it off. If you were to speak to someone who was considering buying an electric wheelchair, but they were in the middle, they were a bit indecisive, what would you say to them?
I've been there. I've definitely been in the indecisive zone. But I think once you've made the choice to get in one, the benefits will be screaming at you, and then it'll be hard to turn your back on it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think if you're considering getting one, have a go in a few, go around, just see how you feel in it, and weigh up the pros and cons, because I bet you any money you'll end up much more comfortable and free. And it might take some getting used to, but it's always going to be worth it.
And would you recommend Etech mobility to others?
Oh my gosh, yeah, all the time actually. Yeah, I always recommend Etech because customer service is great, the actual chairs themselves phenomenal, and the prices are so fair, reasonable, and it's not yet let me down in any circumstance I've taken it to. So yeah, I'd recommend Etech all day.